Alright, hello everybody, this is Jordan again with Kansas Wheat, and I am out here reporting live from the field with farmer David Schemm. So David will be talking a little bit about what he's doing in order to get his wheat plant planted, and if anybody has any questions, definitely feel free to ask.
So what we're getting ready to do here is I've unfolded the machine. You might even hear a little bit of a whine there behind us. That's that big fan that I was talking about that we've got running. And so I'm getting ready to start here. And I'll be lowering it pretty soon here and starting our first pass. We use on tractors and our equipment anymore what we call GPS or auto steering to help us steer the tractor. What this does is it allows us just to be a lot more efficient. All right, drill's in the ground. We're starting to drill. And I'm going to be checking everything on my monitor, make sure we're going here. And we are. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm starting an initial pass here on this field, and I'm marking my first pass from my GPS system. So I've marked my A. I'm going to go ahead and mark my B on my monitor, and then I'm going to let go of my steering wheel, and I just am now letting the tractor steer. I'm going to move the steering wheel up and out of the way so I don't bump it. So now it's all steering, and it's even mapping for us right now on my monitor. And I can kind of jump over here, and I'm making sure my meter is rolling. And this also has a flow control so that I'm knowing I'm also planting seed back behind. And so I know I'm flowing. It tells me I've got everything's flowing back there. So we're drilling wheat right now going behind us.
And Mr. Justin Gilpin asked us a question, how's the moisture?
We've got pretty good moisture. We've got some moisture in here about probably about 10 days ago, just a little bit longer than a week ago, and so it gave us some moisture there. So we know we're getting into some pretty good moisture here now. Today we actually had to move fields today, as I mentioned earlier, because we got some sprinkles in the field we were at. We were having trouble getting the drill to work. So
somebody just asked us a question about the seeds. What kind of seeds are you planting here?
Okay, on this field, I want to double check here, make sure we're on this field here. I'm gonna quick check what bin. See, I'm pulling out of my middle bin, which is what I wanted to. My middle bin on this cart right now, I have a new variety I'm actually kind of excited about called Denali. And so I'm kind of interested to see how it's going to do this year. So we're planting Denali on this field. I have already tried another new variety on another field called Canmark this year. So I'm also excited about it.
And so what company produced those seeds?
It was through K-State Research and KWA, Kansas Wheat Alliance, released it. And so this is Kansas researched and Kansas seed. Kind of designed for western Kansas out here.
And so somebody asked in particular, are these Monsanto seeds at all? Does Monsanto have complete control of the seed supply in wheat?
No, these are not Monsanto seeds at all, and no, Monsanto does not have complete control of the seeds. In fact, the major supplier of seed and new seed varieties for wheat is actually our public research institutes in each state, which is our universities, our land-grant universities. So that's where we get most of our wheat varieties from out here. That works for us.
Perfect. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell people who are just tuning in about what it means to you to raise wheat?
Well, it means that sometimes there's challenges like what's happening right now. If you can see, we've got a lot of trash going on behind us, and that's what's important to us out here in a very semi-arid environment, is that we try to maintain residue, or what we call trash residue, which is previous crop residue, out here on our fields. It helps us to preserve the soil. It helps to stop wind erosion. It also helps to stop water erosion. So it's all very beneficial. However, sometimes our drills do not like the residue when we're trying to drill. And so that is what we're fighting today, and it's also weather today that we're fighting. We have a higher humidity today, and so the trash just does not want to flow for us today.
Somebody asked, is this winter wheat then?
Yes, this is winter wheat. This is a hard red winter wheat. This is the kind that we're drilling out here, primarily used for breads. I have grown white wheat in the past, and it is also a hard winter white wheat. It's also used them for breads, but I'm primarily right now growing hard red winter wheat.
Somebody asked, so is this a fallow field? Can you explain what fallow means and if it applies to this field?
Yes, this is a what we would call a fallow field, which is kind of interesting. That term actually, somebody earlier talked about family farm, and I mentioned my grandpa. My grandpa was one of the first people in this area to employ what they called summer fallow farming or fallow farming, and that's basically where this field does not get any crops planted on it for one summer, and it helps it to store moisture so that we can get our wheat up. We're just a dry enough area that, so what we end up doing is we grow wheat every other year, and this is a fallow field. The previous crop I actually had on it was corn, but this last summer here we didn't grow anything on it. Instead we just kept it weed free so that we can have good moisture to drill this crop into.
All right, we'll keep rolling in here for a little while, so stay tuned to our channel. If you have any other questions, feel free to send us questions via Twitter in the meantime as well. But for now, we'll take a little... Oh, somebody has a question. Hey, Steve, what can we answer for you?
Well, you can see we're still fighting plugs right now. Just as the amount of residue it's actually occurring out here because of a high humidity. The residue tends to drag on those points where we see the wheat with, worse than if it was if we had sun out today. So that's
so some people may know Kansas harvests their wheat crop in the summertime. So why are we planting wheat now when it's, you know, going to be almost a year later when it's harvested?
Well, one of the things is we actually have 6 different types of wheat that are grown here in the U.S. The type that I mentioned earlier is what we call a hard red winter, is what I'm planting right now. Hard red winter refers to the red refers to the color of it. The winter refers to the type of wheat it actually is. And so this type of wheat here is a winter annual, which that means that the plant has to have a vernalization or a dormancy period that it goes through over the winter. Otherwise, it will not yield as well. And so that's why we have to plant it in the fall. We plant it in the fall so we can get the young plant up with roots established, and then it will go into a dormancy phase after that over the winter months. And then when spring comes and the right temperatures start occurring, then the plant will start growing again. If it doesn't have that dormancy phase, again, the plant just won't yield as well.
And so we're out here in western Kansas, Wallace County, right, David?
That is right. This is Wallace County.
All right. Somebody asked a question about exports. Why are international exports important to Kansas wheat farmers?
It's a huge deal for us. It's half of our wheat crop is exported every year. So for every for every acre, and I can tell you right now that we've planted 8 acres, so that means 4 of these acres are now going to be shipped to another country when we come in here to harvest that. And so that's export markets are huge, and export markets are also very concerned about the quality of wheat that we raise. So that's why all of our varieties and that we grow out here, we try to make sure we're growing the absolute highest quality wheat we can to meet all of our customers' demands.
Perfect. And then somebody asked a question, do we have to worry about warm winters?
Warm winters, yes, we do have to worry about, because what will actually happen is that we will still get cool enough for that wheat to go into a certain amount of a dormancy phase, but more importantly, the plant kind of keeps growing and it keeps taking moisture. And because we're just a drier environment out here, because it keeps taking that moisture, it ends up really drying out the soil so that it does not have near the moisture left come the next spring. And actually more concerning thing than warmer winters, though, is extremely cold winters, because then we get into what we call winter kill, and that's when the temperature drops either really quickly to very cold, or it gets really cold without any snow cover. And when that happens, the wheat gets too cold, and it'll actually kill the wheat plant. Situation occurred last year in late November. We went from roughly about 60 degrees, 70 degrees in late November for the next 4 days. Our high temperature was about 10 degrees, and our low temperatures were negative 15. And we actually got a lot of winter kill on some of our fields. So again, a warm winter is concerning. It just lets the plant keep growing. It also allows insects to get out there and hurt the wheat. But a cold winter, or extremely cold winter, is also concerning too.
All right. Well, I think that's all the questions that we have right now. We'll be tuning back in to live from the field here in a couple of minutes. If you've got any questions in the meantime, feel free to send those over to us via Twitter or Facebook, and we'll be sure to have David answer them for you. Thanks so much for listening in, and we hope you subscribe to our Periscope channel. See you in a bit.